Welcome on Focus on Finance. My name is Shirley Luu. I'm your host. You know what? It's always exciting when I have wonderful, wonderful guests that are here with me today, because one of the most amazing things is these two gentlemen, you can see, handsome and debonair as anything. And both of these are, I would say, pastored. And you know, on the right of me here, you see Pastor Albert Chatmon Jr. And on the left of me here, you can see also Pastor Albert Chatmon Sr. And you know, it's wonderful when you see in the realm of, teaching and education and then Word of God's economic, when we have these two gentlemen, father and son working on it to educate the Word, I think it's wonderful. So why don't we go ahead and start off with Pastor Albert Chapman Jr. Tell a little bit about yourself, and is that correct? I have this awesome book right here.
Yes.
That is written by you? Oh my
yes.
God. Tell them about yourself. I want to hear about the book.
I'm a native of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I grew up in Fort Washington, Maryland.
Okay.
And I am an author. I'm so honored to be on the faith-based advisory committee for the Prince George County.
Okay.
We do a little bit of economic development consistent with them. I'm also the ex-chairman. I say ex because I had to resign only because by condition. But if you buy the book, you get more information. But long story short, I'm a pastor, senior pastor at New Beginnings Church of God of Prophecy right there in Atlanta, Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So the book title is The Enemy of Giving Up. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Tell me a little bit about what this book is about.
Well, thank you. Just real quick, the enemy of giving up is it's really an idea of not giving up, okay? The truth of the matter is, in my life, I've failed a number of times, but I only failed because I gave up or I quit. And I realized that there's got to be a secret to this. And I discovered that there is a secret. There's a secret to success. And that is an idea of not giving up. When you give up, it actually costs you more when you give up than it does to just hang in there. And then finance is a perfect example. When you quit from stocks and bonds and investing like you're supposed to, you mess up. And so I'm grateful. Thank you for this opportunity to be on your show.
Well, thank you for being here. Okay, Pastor Chapman, Senior, and he's wise in his years, guys.
That's right.
He's wise in his years. So can you please, tell us about the church? I know you're very heavily involved, not just your church, but other church organizations out there, and people look up to you a lot, when it comes to the word of education, learning, the word of God's, a little word of wisdom,
Yes,
and
yes.
soon we'll be finance.
So I do pastor a church, just as he was saying. I'm a Washingtonian also.
Okay.
Glad. And what's been exciting for me has been the opportunity to be able to give back to the community.
Oh, wow.
And yes, I am religious. I am trying to help people become Christians. But at the same time, we recognize that there are other issues going on in people's lives that we have to really make a contribution to really help them with respect to them. And one of those is finances.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I thank you, both of you gentlemen. And one of the things that I know that as I'm going out there in the communities, and it doesn't matter where it is, doesn't matter what race, what color, what religion, what background, what economics. The biggest thing I see is, like even remember when COVID happened, the situation, there were so many people were passing away and they didn't have that protection. And I know in the church community, I see both of you giving your heart and soul all the time. From when someone passes away, they're coming to you. Hey, can we do GoFundMe or fish fry? Can you? I mean, what do you see from that? I would like to hear a little bit from you.
Yeah, it's a challenge for our church. We have two different sides, if I may.
Okay.
What I call the inner groups, the members, the people who are affiliated with our church, and then those who want to borrow or use our church for their own facilities, okay. For a funeral service, something like that. And we do find that. We find that, unfortunately, I'm going to suggest about 30% of the people that either rent our facility or that are members of our church do have challenges when it comes to funeral services and things like that. Attaining money for the funeral service or obtaining money so that the loved ones can continue living in the conditions that they are in now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think also, a lot of time with members of the church, do you see them leaving like legacy wealth creation for the next generation, or even for giving the great cause that they believe in?
I don't see that much at all. It turns out that very, very few people actually leave anything for the church.
Wow.
It's just the way it has been. what has been interesting though is for us to try to get some financial education to them so they can understand what's happening with themselves, and as a result, understand what they can do and should do in order to ensure that they do have wealth, I'll call it,
Yeah.
and an ability to be able to do things like that.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm very passionate, of course, working with church organization, is being able to understand, if you're dedicated to a church or an organization, doesn't have to be a church, it could be a nonprofit organization,
Yes.
doesn't matter what costs out there, that if you can have an opportunity to leave a legacy for that cause that you believe in continue on. But I think it's also important with the family. I know you guys look at it, what are you talking about? What about my family? No. Family is such a critical importance. But I also believe, I want to ask you this question because, I teach a lot about finance and money. Do you think people in the organization, in churches or community, doesn't matter where they are, that they needed to have a lot of money to start investing? What is your view on that?
I don't think they need a lot of money to invest in. I think they need to be consistent. And most importantly, it's good to have a goal, but the plan is everything. There's a saying that we don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan. And it's so important for churches and ministries to, partner with people like you who can help us to understand how to have the right plan.
Absolutely. I'm glad that he said that
Yes.
because, even what you say, so let's say someone started planning, right? They work hard, you go to work, you've got, money saving in different kind of area plan. But a lot of time, it's not about how much you make or how much you get out of it, but it's how much of it you get to keep before the IRS comes looking for you.
Yes. So one of the things that we like to do, first of all, is to start off by making sure that people understand that the finances that you have belong to God.
Yes.
God is the one who provided it with you. He's the one that instructed us to be good stewards of the resources that He's given us, and finances are part of those resources that He's given us. So what are you doing with your finances? You're making the decision about how to ensure that we use it for the good of mankind, for God and mankind.
Absolutely.
God has given those instructions. So when we say mankind, we're talking about your family too.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're doing things that are good for your family. Most of us that I deal with go from paycheck to paycheck. What am I saying? They're putting themselves in positions where all they can do is collect their pay and then pay their bills. Okay? And what we're trying to say to them, what you haven't done is planned the way he's talking about it. Even with the amount of money that you have coming in, one of the first things you need to do is put together, I'm going to use the term budget.
Absolutely.
But that's tricky because a lot of the people we're dealing with say, oh, I have a budget. I'm supposed to have both members of the family working, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we've done. He pays those bills and I pay those other bills. And I'm trying to say to them, so what's the objective? What are you guys trying to do? You have to establish that first before you can establish a budget.
Absolutely.
All right? And then once you've done that, then you can start talking about how we're going to take both salaries and move them toward accomplishing the budget.
What I love about both of you is the fact that you guys are very open-minded, or the next generation, very dynamic, thinking outside the box. Because you know why I say that? Because there's a lot of churches out there that whether the bishop, pastor, reverend, they do not want to bring financial education literacy in. Why is that? I don't know. I mean, can you shed some light? Why do they not want?
Well, my opinion is we're taught the Bible.
Okay.
We're taught in seminary how to understand the Bible, how to teach the Bible, how to grow the church based on the Bible.
Right.
But we're not taught in seminary or the trainings that are presented to us about the whole man, about the physical health, the mental health, or the financial health. So I think a lot of it might even just be ignorance. My job is to teach about the spiritual things, but I don't know about how to teach the financial things. That's what I see.
So how about you, sir?
Okay, so on my side, I'm much older than he is.
Okay.
but I was raised so that we actually didn't have much of a interest in financial stuff. We were raised to say your goal is to get a job, take that money and live by, and also buy some life insurance so in case you die, then you have some money to bury yourself with. that was sort of the flavor that we have. Entrepreneurship wasn't in the vocabulary.
Wow.
It was that type of thing that we were in. And so now what we're trying to do is say, we don't want the generations coming up behind us
Yes.
to do the same thing. We want them to understand that entrepreneurship is available for them too, which includes all of the products that are out now to help you manage your finances.
Absolutely. You know, one of the teaching, I know I've seen some of the past that the church were going by term invest a difference. And as I'm going back now to those churches that bought into that concept, a lot of the term ran out. So now
That's
they
right.
can't qualify
That's right.
at all because,
That's
you know,
right.
term insurance is considered temporarily. And we were never taught, you know, teaching them.
Mhm.
And so one,
Yeah.
their health got bad. They got older, now it costs outrageous amounts, so therefore I see the whole entire community don't have any insurance to leave a legacy. And then, okay, but invest a difference. Well, I told him to invest a difference. You know what it's like when you tell somebody to do something? Does that happen? Do you see it happen?
Especially around the holidays. We got to spend for Christmas and other, you break your budget.
Exactly.
No, you know, it's funny you say that because I remember thinking about that. Back
Yeah.
in those days, it was called A.L. Williams and all that, Prime American, all that kind of good stuff. And they were coming to your church and trying to get you to teach those things. But just like you said, the problem was people would buy these term policies, but they would never invest because they would always think, well, I could use the money for this and use money for something
That's
else. And
exactly what's
so
going on.
that's a big problem, yes.
And then what happened, and even the one that did listen to you invest, 2008 came. What happened 2008 came?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes, these things happen.
The market took a dive.
Yes,
And
it
so
did.
but
Yes, it did.
you're assuming that they actually did invest and put money in the market. Most of the people that I dealt with didn't do that.
I know.
And so they didn't actually get hurt too much by it.
No, Pastor, I'm going to raise this up, okay? Because one of the things that they're saying that, wait a minute, Shirley, buy term, invest the difference, and all that. But look at the investment. You can hang in there long term. And to me, you know, long term is one thing, but, you know, you and I got a short period of time, you know.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you know, this is Shirley Luu. There's more topic I want to talk in the future. So let's connect to the next episode.